Hey guys, back for another episode of Centric Talks Property. This week we are joined by two very inspirational people, PJ Ellis and Tim Andrews, who are the co-founders of LOVEBRUM, local charity to Birmingham obviously, but some really inspirational content and stories to listen to. So much so, Tim has actually been awarded recently an MBE, so we're going to congratulate him on that, talk all things Birmingham, LOVEBRUM, and a little bit of property. So if you do give us a like and a subscribe, but I hope you enjoy. Well guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We're joined, as I said, by Tim and PJ. Thank you again. I don't think there's anywhere else to start than to congratulate you, Tim, on your recent award.
Yeah.
Been awarded an MBE.
Yeah, it's...
When did that happen?
Have you missed that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've been overwhelmed with,
you don't have to do a speech, it's okay.
No,
I've got all this rehearsed though.
Honestly, it's been a real whirlwind. Probably feels like exactly what PJ felt like when he came out of Big Brother 13 years ago.
I've been told to leave that one off the agenda.
with all the text messages, the emails, the messages on social media, having to try and reply, and I've tried my best to engage with all this. And honestly, it's been a whirlwind.
Yeah. So how do you actually find out that you've been awarded?
Well, about a week before, I had an email which I genuinely thought was a wind. Well, actually, I deleted it to begin with. And I went, BD 21 honours. Let's go and look at it. And that's what it was.
From PJ.
I did wonder whether it was a wind-up for a start, but actually I nearly deleted it and it went into my delete box.
I've actually seen another few people say that actually.
And it's not as if it's from like the government going or from the Queen,
Yeah.
But I don't know, just
video message from the Queen these days.
But to actually get an email like that, and you do think of the amount of dodgy stuff that goes on the internet these days in terms of getting people's data and whatnot, and I was just really...
Sign up to purchase this award here.
Yeah. And I nearly, because if I had deleted it, you basically have 10 days, I think, or 7 days to go back and...
To acknowledge.
And accept it.
Right.
Did you get an actual letter to the address as well, did you?
No letter, just an email. Just an email.
People will definitely miss those.
Yeah, 100%. And then if you don't accept it, so of course, they say that if you don't accept within 7 days, you may not get it. We may not be able to. So I do wonder whether they would chase you up saying, do you know what, you've not replied.
A little prompt.
You'd like to think so.
Yeah.
So it's for services to charity and the community in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Overall,
well, charity has sort of been something that's really passionate. For all my life, really. My mum, it started really young. My mum and dad used to be involved in the Caravan Club, and I was on the junior committee, and my role was fundraising. I was 10 at the time. We used to raise money for cancer research.
Yeah.
We used to go around collecting newspapers from our neighbours and weighing them in at the newspaper recycling plant. We used to get £50 a tonne, if I remember right, and we used to donate it all to charity. So it's been in my blood for years and years and years.
Brilliant.
And I just think it's a really good value to have in any business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as a person as well.
And
it's something that I've always done.
Humbling yet inspiring at the same time.
It gives you an immense amount of pleasure. And actually, there's something, it always makes you think that if you do good in life, there's
some reward there at the end somewhere.
Looking after but I wouldn't be the person I am today actually if it wasn't for charity. So there is something in it for me as well. I've met so many good people. He's one of them. You meet so many people getting involved in charity work. Yeah, really awesome people. It sort of reminds you mankind is a good thing.
Does still exist,
because there is a you do get a lot of bad press, don't you, with mankind at times, and you generally meet just really nice people.
Great.
And Birmingham's full of them.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, and good luck with it, and
cheers.
We look forward to you receiving the award. So let's start with telling us a little bit about yourselves. Obviously, I think you've alluded to both of you a little bit there in your discussion. But PJ, tell us a bit about your background and what got you involved with charity.
My background's pretty, it's pretty mixed for a number of reasons. I'm a failed footballer at heart.
Right. Aren't we all?
About 5 stone ago, back in my day.
Dodgy knee.
Hand trials, dodgy back, the usual story. But now I always thought I was going to be a footballer, and I didn't make the grade. And I didn't know what to do. And my school careers advisor was like, you can get straight A's. Why don't you be a lawyer? I was like, well, Ali McBeal was on the TV show back then, and I thought law was all about dancing babies and cocktails.
So you went straight into it.
Next thing I know, I was in University of Birmingham, which was absolutely amazing, and training contracts. And next thing I know, I was in London doing being a lawyer. So I did that for about 6 years. Didn't enjoy it. And as Tim said, I think he alluded to that whole sort of making yourself feel better about getting involved with charity. I just didn't know what to do. And we stumbled across this story about this young boy called Harry Mosley. He was dying, brain tumour. And we had this sort of morbid fascination around following the journey, if that's the right phrase to use. I've just become a dad, you start crying at John Lewis.
Changes you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. Gives you a completely different perspective. And unfortunately, he passed away. Me and Tim got involved with that charity, helped them a number of ways, raising money, setting things up, blah, blah, blah. And that gave me the first taste of what it could be like to raise significant amounts of money, because we put the charity ball on it. In fact, that's how me and Tim met. I'd agreed to do this ball. I'd reached out to Harry's mum and said, look, this is what I'd like to do. And I was really struggling. I was still a lawyer at the time. Really, I'd never organised a ball that was being attended by 1,000 people. I was out of my depth. So I put on Facebook, can anyone help me? And this is a testament to what Tim does all
Tim's
the time.
character.
Yeah, he helps others all the time. And me more than most knows how much he deserves this MBA, Tim. But he reached out, and from then the story is born. We've become really my best of my friends. Business partners, we've set up charities. It's been an amazing journey. So I went from law and then into digital. I now co-own a local digital marketing agency called Lightbox. We employ 18 members of staff. Centrick have supported us before. I'm one of the lucky ones, I think. Yeah. How about you, Tim?
All right, Tim.
that was
match that.
That was a short version question again. What's your background?
Just tell us a bit about you. Background, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've already said some of it, but let's because obviously I'm not that young these days. So there's quite a lot of history. But
you've only got 25 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So I set my own business up with my dad. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. In 1991, so I was 21 at the time. Never knew anything about business, and I didn't actually know anything about signage, believe it or not.
Right.
Which is the bizarre thing. It's all self-taught and self-read and whatnot, and self-practiced. And I set that business up. I set a digital printing business in 2002. Again, I didn't know anything about digital printing. Went into it, and I'm proud to say now, Hollywood Monster is probably number 2, I think, in the UK.
Wow.
In terms of amount that we print.
Yeah.
And the work that we've done lately, it just blows my mind. The big brands that we're doing. In our factory went in yesterday, it's full of Sainsbury's stuff.
Wow.
Little Hollywood Monster is doing that. Champions League. There's all sorts of stuff that's going through.
And there's a lot of stuff you can't talk about.
There's a lot of stuff that we're under NDA on all sorts of things. What
Come on, this won't go out for a few weeks.
and it is. I have to pinch myself. We've built an amazing business, and charity has been a big part of it. Hollywood Monster, everybody in the business, is always doing challenges, raising money for different charities across the city. We're always doing stuff for local organisations, local community groups, football teams. It's been a big part. But LOVEBRUM was started 6 years ago. Was it 7 years ago?
Yeah. Well, we actually registered the domain in the old Contemptibles in 2000. It was me, Tim, and Dave McLean. Most of the best ideas come out of the back of a few years, doesn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah. We registered it in 2014, actually. Yeah. We launched in 2015.
I've got to say this, because 3 stone ago, I run 13 marathons.
Yes.
That's really quite an accolade for a little fat bloke.
I've ran one.
And I've done over 100 half marathons. And they've all been for charity, and we've raised lots of money for all sorts of different organisations. But again, the bit in it for me is keeping fit and healthy. And I'm a big believer of fit body, fit mind.
Yeah.
And it's served me quite well until I've stopped running them.
Until recently.
So we've been this morning. We've done a PT session this morning. So we're back.
So I hear.
Getting ripped for Ibiza for next year when the planes are back on.
Great. So I think we might have covered a bit of this, but what did inspire you to start LOVEBRUM? I'm assuming the story with the young boy you mentioned.
It was a number of things, really. We'd really enjoyed the things that we'd done at the cancer charity. We were coming up for our 2 years as a trustee. me and Tim wanted to do a number of different things, and Tim will probably have a different sort of angle to this, but for me it was more around, there was a bit of a mission, I wanted to make sure Birmingham was put on the map. I was like we all do, would go to Spain as a kid and people would recognise that we're from Birmingham. They'd go, "Oh, you're from Birmingham?" So there's always that sort of like, we didn't have that pride, or that's certainly the civic pride in the city that we came from, and me and Tim were always talking about that. Then we started to see whether, how would something work, what platform, what does that look like, and then we started to talk more about, you could connect businesses to the charity and make this charity for Birmingham, so it's the Birmingham's choice, make people vote on the causes, they will have this real big part in the charity. And once we got a sort of an idea of what it could look like, just went from there, didn't it, Tim?
I think
a lot of hard work later, and
PJ touched on the civic pride thing. You look at Manchester, you look at Newcastle. They beat the chest.
Very proud to
Manchester.
be.
But Brummies don't do that, and I wish they did a little bit more, because
we're getting better at it.
Why do you think they don't?
I honestly don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't think the media's helped.
No,
I think you're right. I think the media, but I actually also think leadership as well in the city. Without being too controversial, I think.
Let's not get political.
No, it's certainly not political actually. But people just need to be reminded about how good our city is. We haven't got great football teams, let's be honest, to sort of lead the way, if you like. We're always used to coming second or third. But actually, if you look at the city, the best way of reminding yourself how awesome the city is looking at the people. And actually, with buildings, we forget the buildings. Everybody thinks that Birmingham is a bit of a...
Well, the building you guys are in.
It's absolutely beautiful place. And the lockdown taught me, if you're walking around, because living in the city centre, looking up rather than looking in front of you, tripping over someone. And the buildings, the architecture here in the city is awesome.
Underestimated, I think.
100%. But let's forget the buildings, because they can be built, can't they? But what I think about the city is awesome is its people. And what LOVEBRUM does a really good job at, and we need to get better, and we are going to get better, but he's showcasing the awesome projects in the city that demonstrate perfectly what Birmingham's all about. Multicultural city, helping each other. And there are bad parts of any city, and including Birmingham.
Absolutely, worldwide.
LOVEBRUM wants to try and help put those things right, through underfunding from central government to local government, whatever. But LOVEBRUM is all about promoting and celebrating what's really good going on in the city.
And I think Andy Street does a great job. And when we met before, he said it's about making 100%. Birmingham's mentality about winning.
100%,
and being a city that can win these projects like the Commonwealth Games and like funding from government for transport and trams, etc. So
I agree.
It's partly a mindset
it is a
thing.
Mentality thing. I think people are almost embarrassed to talk about Birmingham and where we've come from and where we're going. More so, we rely on the history, which is great, but actually the future's as bright. And I think what Birmingham does really well, and I can't talk for other cities, but me and Tim have been asked when we were awarded a Points of Light by the Cabinet Office. Obviously, you've got up from there. You might
is this a sore subject, Tim?
No, not at all. As I said, thoroughly deserving of the award.
Absolutely.
But now we were asked about whether LOVEBRUM could be replicated across different cities. Now we don't know Manchester inside out or other cities, so we can't really comment. But I feel that LOVEBRUM has been so successful because of the community that we work within. People have been willing to help. There are so many awesome people behind the projects that we support that are delivering real change to our city. Are those happening elsewhere? I'm sure there are. But are they happening as much as they do in this city? I'm not too sure. So we do need to pump our chest out a little bit more from Birmingham businesses, Birmingham people, and celebrate. The will of
I've noticed it from working here probably almost 10 years now. Used to get international investors on the phone, and they'd see a property, and the question was, how far is it from London?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Birmingham. Where is this place, Birmingham?
Well, very soon.
They know Manchester, don't they?
Yeah. How far are you from?
The leadership bit. Promoting the city of Birmingham. Why wouldn't you promote the city of Birmingham?
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
And I think we were behind the curve in that kind of outward PR to the international market.
Well, you know what? I think that's also how I think LOVEBRUM came in at a time where there were other conversations around similar sort of missions. You know, there's other platforms popping up, the I Choose Birminghams, the Independent Birminghams, that are all like, here we go.
Yeah.
And I think the city rallied to support those sort of projects and make sure that we're, you know, that whole sentiment. Like, you know, I saw a brilliant marketing activation campaign by, I think it was a train company. And they were standing on the platform to all these commuters to London in the morning who were going to work in London and were going the wrong way. You know, you don't need to go to London. I did the same. I buggered off to London to be a lawyer, and I came back in my towel between my legs. Yeah. Because it was, it was a beautiful.
Can I be a Brummie again?
Please. Yeah. I'm not sure anyone said yes.
It's interesting, actually. Adopted Brummies promote the city of Birmingham more so than Brummies.
Yeah.
Probably because the cities they're from have done that.
They've got that sort of, comparison piece. Yeah. You know. But LOVEBRUM.
Passionate Brummies.
Why not?
Yeah, definitely. I think we've covered why local then in that question. Tell us about the early years then, obviously setting up a charity from scratch, coming together with this brainchild of LOVEBRUM. What were the initial obstacles or challenges you faced? Many, I'm sure, from that reaction.
You want to take that, Tim?
Well, I think time was the biggest obstacle, I'd say, and money. You know, the whole idea of a charity is raising money. It's time. Yeah. Being a business owner myself, you're always looking at, you need to find time to do these sort of things. But you know what? Looking back, it's actually quite easy. Other than the time poor. It's just motivation to do something and to try and, I think the concept is great. The success of it is down to the people that have supported it along the way. Centrick being one of them. Our sort of promise to the Birmingham public is every single penny raised goes through to the causes. Else there would be no need for a LOVEBRUM. Of course. And we rely on companies like yourselves that are paying for the people's wages who work at HQ. Yeah. And thank you for renewing again this year. No problem. Looking forward to the year ahead. And it's I promise you, without companies like yourselves, LOVEBRUM would not exist. And it couldn't because of the model, Yeah. But in terms of, I just think it's the people really that have made it. It's a great idea, no doubt about it, and it's an idea that is of many people coming together and talking about and moulding it, So and do you have sort of full-time staff, or is it all people giving bits of their time, or is that how you start? People giving up.
We've actually got 3 full-time members of staff, now, which is amazing. It's creating jobs at the same time. I think that leans into my sort of journey around the obstacles. It's quite interesting when I look back. I don't do this often because I've got things to do, but when I reflect. When you reminisce. I mean, the majority of the emails me and Tim would share, and a chap called Dave McLean, another one of our co-founders, initially were at 2 a.m, 3 a.m, it was difficult, we couldn't find the time. Yeah. And I think the obstacles after that for me, we had a lot of, probably like about a year of ideation sessions, what is LOVEBRUM? And I think from that, the obstacle, if that's the right word, maybe challenge, is that, and probably something we need to get better at, is the articulation of what LOVEBRUM does. Because it's not necessarily just, we're not shaking tins for a certain charity. We support a number of different charities delivering different sort of. Well, give us the full top to bottom. What is LOVEBRUM for those that haven't heard of it or have seen it on social media or something, but don't maybe understand it? Yeah, go for it. Yeah. So we might have slightly different elevator pitches, but I would say LOVEBRUM is a charity for Birmingham. It's a movement for a better Birmingham. From a charity perspective, it unearths what we call hidden gem projects. So those projects in Birmingham that are doing brilliant things in the city, delivering tangible outcomes that you can see, touch, smell, whatever it might be. Generally volunteer-led. That don't usually have the platform to sing and dance about the cool things that they're doing. And once we find those, we profile them and hopefully fund them. So there's a number of benefits of those being involved with LOVEBRUM. So that's a charity thing. And every month we change the theme from elderly to children to animal to culture, art, so on and so forth. It is also a membership sort of organisation, because we rely on our corporate members and our individual members to help. They are the lifeblood, amongst other things, to help us grow and sustain that sort of infrastructure.
We should have wore our badges today.
Badges. And it's, without being political, it's also this movement for people to be part of the change that they want to see. So if they want to see more investment in arts and culture, well, actually, we will profile those brilliant projects to them, and they can have the say for just £20 a year.
Gives them a voice and a platform.
Yeah, they've got a voice.
Yeah.
And but I think that's the obstacle as well. The fact that we do so much, it's not an easy sell.
Yeah. It's not just one cause and one drive.
No, it isn't, and
keeps you on your toes.
It is quite a complicated offering.
It is,
and certainly where the revenue streams, split.
Yeah.
The money that Centrick put in goes to running the HQ, and the overheads of the business.
Yeah.
The membership fees goes to the causes,
right?
So that's the restricted part, if you like.
Yeah.
Do you think that's an obstacle then, mate? Because actually, what happens? Sorry to interrupt.
No, go on.
When you talk about the jobs, when it was a completely volunteer, it means obviously never made any money out of this. Nor trusted or volunteer-led organisation to a point. When the National Lottery came in and started talking to us, me and Tim just thought, oh great, we're here, they're going to fund these projects.
Yeah.
But actually, after about 6 months of conversations with the National Lottery, they were actually looking at us going, actually, we would prefer to invest this money to make it sustainable, because your infrastructure is volunteer-led and you can't sort of scale that.
Yeah.
So we were so we created jobs. Unfortunately, I think for us, I've never got specific feedback around this, but I feel that people looking in feel that LOVEBRUM don't need the money.
Right.
Because the people around it, maybe the causes, the corporates, the G-Sharks, the Centricks, the HSBCs, and all the way down to everyone that supports us. I think sometimes people don't think we need the money, but us, like every other charity,
absolutely do. Yeah,
and it is probably our biggest challenge now is cash. Not fundraising money to the causes, because we've got quite a healthy pot to give away.
Yeah.
It's the money for our house.
Sustaining the business.
They're restricted funds, you see, so we've got to keep that money for the projects we support.
So this year, we've had to move HQ into like my factory.
Right.
So we're not don't have any
overheads. Yeah.
Are they doing new signs as well, Tim?
So it is that. It has been that tight, and the pandemic has been, and I'm sure you probably want to talk about that. It's been really tough for the whole third sector, not just LOVEBRUM.
Absolutely. So how does, I suppose that segues quite nicely in, how do you both successful local businessmen in your own rights, how does it differ, or does it not differ actually? You've got the same challenges as running a day-to-day business?
Yeah, I actually don't think it's any different.
No.
You've always said that, actually, haven't you? You said it's,
without the fact, obviously, you're having to, persuade people to part with their money, but actually it's still the same. You're dealing with people, you're offering a service that's needed.
You're dealing with budgets, costs, overheads, outgoings.
Charity is a business. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. And maybe business is a dirty word in the charity sector, but it has to be run as a business because it's not sustainable. So there's a lot of skills that you take from the business to run a charity without a doubt.
And vice versa.
I've
learned a lot from
I mean, listening to you, actually, you can see that some of the conversations you've had, like you said, with maybe some of the other business people or government and lottery, maybe help you also take some stuff back to your own business.
I'm a newbie compared to how long Tim's been in business. I've owned businesses for 4 or 5 years. It's nowhere near as the 27-year journey that Tim's been on. So I'm learning every day, certainly from Tim, and that's always grateful for that, mate. But the experience I've had around charities definitely has helped me as a businessman as well, and vice versa.
Brilliant. It's giving back in all ways.
100%.
So we've talked a lot about Birmingham and what some of the good things and some of the negative press, but what do you think makes Birmingham great? You might have separate opinions here, but what do you think really makes the city stand out for you?
I've already said it, really. People. And Birmingham City Football Club.
I was going to say
controversial, but you've got your own rights.
We're Super Jack fans for the next couple of weeks.
It is the people without a doubt. Birmingham is a massive city, but it's got a real, and maybe this is where Birmingham's held back. It's also got a very small city mentality. Maybe that's a restraint. I was going to say village actually. Certainly these business districts, you only need to know 200 people, and
you know the main players in the business.
But that's what makes Birmingham really good to do business. The opportunities in the city are phenomenal. I know Birmingham has got its problems, and I know the equality gap is massive, which is what LOVEBRUM is trying to help. We're not going to solve it without a doubt, but we can make it a little bit better. The equality gap is something that Birmingham has struggled with for years. And it probably,
I think most cities and countries
probably
do,
don't
worse,
So,
100%.
And that's something that needs to be addressed. And is being done slowly. But without doubt, the people. And if people have the connections, I suppose, the opportunities are there for them to dig out. And I'm really excited to be living in the city. It's a dream of mine to live down on the coast one day. But Birmingham will always be my home, and will always be the place that's made me what I am today. I just love the place. I wouldn't want to live in any other city.
You're oozing Birmingham.
Honestly, it is so good. I mean, leading from the people thing that Tim mentioned, we can't deny that Birmingham is a brilliant place for that. But I feel that it's the way it's set up into different wards allows for this sort of rich tapestry of like diversity and a cultural mix. And I think because of that, I think we're stronger actually. I did a talk on TEDx about the unconscious bias. It was all around like diversity and blah blah blah, social mobility and stuff. And I look at Birmingham and think actually, you go out into this ward, you go into that ward, they're very different in a way. Whether it be from religion to whatever it might be. But actually, I do feel
it's a good sort of eclectic mix.
I really do. And I think from that cultural diversity piece, as Tim said, it's not fixed yet as to how we really use that. If that's the right phrase. But because of that, we're better for it. I really do think.
We talked a little bit before we started recording about some of the events you've put on over the years, and we've been to a few, and we started talking about it. And you started talking about some of the challenges with some of those big events, which can be very high risk and either high reward or low reward. So give us maybe some examples or some challenges around those big events.
Well, obviously the pandemic has given challenge to the event industry in total, so no one can really put any events on. So the charity sector is, majority of charity fundraising comes from events of some kind. And obviously the whole charity sector has not been able to put on any events.
Ultimately operate,
And so it's been a massive challenge. But in terms of when the times are good, the times are normal. The challenge, of course, is putting on an event like the Curry King of Birmingham or the big
which was a fab night, I must say.
I enjoyed that. But it's just very different. I think in any organisation, any business, any charity, USP, which is the unique selling point, it's really important that you stand out from the many other crowds, the many other
events that are going on.
And the Curry King ticked that box without a doubt,
the link with Curry
in Birmingham. Going back, people didn't understand what the Curry King of Birmingham was. They thought it was just a competition for curry houses, for instance. But actually it wasn't. It just gave everybody the ability to try and make a curry with your mates. What can go wrong, Exactly. But the problem is with that type of event is it costs such a lot of money to put on. I promise you the amount of money we made out of that event actually with the risk, it's not worth actually putting your charity to that sort of financial risk just for that very small
Because you're saying you have to put deposits down and fees.
What we are doing with Acorns this year, which is a great collaboration, is the Firewalk. So we're.
I saw this. Debated whether to click further or not.
I think charity fundraising is difficult. You've got to come up with something that's just a little bit different. Paul Cadman approached us and said he'd like to put this event on for LOVEBRUM as well. So two big charities of the city, Acorns, we all love and have known about them for years. And actually two charities come together, which is actually quite unique in itself. That doesn't happen that much. And it's happening in September, September the 3rd. And that would be awesome. And if you don't want to walk over the fire, you can actually walk over the ice. If you're if you're not so brave.
I think you have to walk over them both, don't you?
No.
Okay.
Fire first, then the ice.
I don't know how that's going to end up.
No. It's one or the other. But we, perhaps the call to action from this call would be, please
get involved.
We're trying to raise £100,000, I believe. I think Acorns.
Off one event.
Yeah, well, Acorns raised, and Paul and everyone who was involved last year. My wife actually did it, to be fair. I should have seen the state of her feet.
Were you giving foot rubs for a month?
She did request those, but no, seriously. But they raised just shy of 50 grand, I think. So the amount of people that have already signed up.
Yeah.
Paul, you don't say no to Paul Catman, do you?
Right, yeah.
It's going to be a great evening. So.
It'll be good. There's some entertainment.
Where's it being hosted?
Some, street food.
Over at the Points.
Okay, yeah. So how can people get involved if they hear this and go, right?
Yeah, it's all online. I think if you look at lovebrum.org.uk or on LoveBrum social media, just a bit of a plug there. LoveBrum social media platforms or Acorns, of course. It's all over that at the moment.
Great. Hopefully we can get you a few more participants there for the night.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Cool. All right, brilliant, guys. Well, look, thanks for being with us. One last question then. Again, you might have different views, but we are a property company. So describe to me your ideal dream home anywhere in the world, no budget.
This office isn't bad. I mean, I could live here quite easily.
A few people have slept here before, but Allegedly. Chairman stories.
You know what? Having known Tim for 9 years now, he sort of introduced me to a certain different way of living down south, around the water, on boats and stuff like that.
As Midlanders don't usually.
But I used to go on beach holidays, of course, but the only boat I probably went on was Kingshurst Lake, But no, I'd love to have a house down, it doesn't necessarily have to be huge, but whatever. I've seen some of the ones that are on your portfolios and James's and stuff, but something down by the sea, somewhere where the kids can visit one day, because it just calms me. It's less about the property. You can add a swimming pool and a double garage. I mean, we can achieve that in our real life anyway. But for me, I think just being down by the sea.
It's really that disconnect, isn't it? Like my parents live on the coast, and we're lucky enough to go, a few times a year. We're going next week actually, but it's sort of as soon as you get off the motorway and your mind just starts to.
It really does. I find it very difficult to switch off.
To unwind. Yeah.
But I really genuinely do when I'm down there. Yeah. Especially when I have my children. It's just we spent some time down in Devon last week, 2 weeks ago, and it was just it was lovely. So whatever the house is, it's got to be nice. Don't get me wrong.
Good standards.
Yeah, of course, I've got standards. I've got kids that have also got standards, unfortunately, and wife. But down by the sea, definitely.
Brilliant.
Mine. I've just bought my dream house actually.
It's not bad.
I've seen some of the photos of the work. It's not a dream at the moment, is it?
It's obviously we're going through a refurb on it at the moment to make it home, which is really hard work. So probably best buy a house that's already done.
You heard it here first.
No, joking apart. The house was actually stunning before, but when you live in it, you want it different.
Yeah.
But I'd like to pick my house up and put it down by the sea. Just really based on what you've just said, Pete. Living by the water, being on the water, there is something quite special about it. I've had a boat for years, and it's like a little floating home, if you like. And as soon as you step on that boat, as a business owner, if you like, certainly in the earlier days where a lot of it was on my shoulders, and now I share it with the fellow shareholders.
And you couldn't get Wi-Fi on the boat.
It was even before Wi-Fi existed.
Exactly.
I'm talking quite a while ago. I used to work doing long hours, always on the go, always working, if you like. There's no switch off, and I couldn't switch off when I got home at night. Whereas I walk onto the boat, it just goes.
Is that what drove you to go and sort of get involved in boating, or was it?
No,
was the family always involved?
It was something I used to do as a kid. Water skiing, and my mum and dad used to do caravan. I touched on it earlier, a caravan in every weekend, and it was like a posh version of a caravan. It was always a dream to perhaps do
floating caravan.
And the fact that the love of water, and it's only made sense to buy a boat that you can sleep on, which is basically a caravan. And
we've just insulted loads of boat enthusiasts. Caravan on water, but hey.
Without doubt. But do you know what? Most of them will probably agree. That's what it is. That's the real fun of sleeping on a boat. It's like living in a caravan, and what great times I've had with my boat. It's been. But my house is now my sort of my castle, if you like. And I just absolutely love it. Turned into a farmer and all sorts.
I've seen.
He's got land, he's got sheep, he's ordering out.
Got small holding,
And it's honestly, and I have daily races between my dog and the rabbits. It's just like you don't need to keep the rabbits away. My dog does that, you know.
Brilliant.
It's a beautiful way of life living in the country, and something I've not done, you know, for some time.
Yeah. Been a city boy for many years.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, thank you very much for joining us. I know you're very busy with your own businesses and LOVEBRUM. Like we said, if you do want to get involved with LOVEBRUM, visit the website. PJ plugged it earlier, so you'll have the address. But yeah, get involved. It'd be great to see some people there on September the 3rd, did you say? But yeah, if you like what you've seen today, then do give us a like, subscribe. Any questions for the guys, happily put you in touch. So yeah, thanks for watching and thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you so much.